Why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier.
Ameerika üliõpilasliigasse siirdumine on muutunud Eesti noorkorvpallurite seas ütlemata populaarseks. Üheks mõjuvaks põhjuseks mõistega asjaolu, et kõrgel tasemel üliõpilaspallurina on lombi taga võimalik elu finantsiliselt sisuliselt ära kindlustada. Kuidas aga treeningi õppeprotsessid Ameerikas täpselt välja näevad, seda näitab meile endine Tartu klubi kasvandik Hannes Saar.
Ameerika kasuks langes otsus sellepärast, et mul ei vaja keskkonnavahetust, ma tundsin, et ma alustasin Tartus oma karjääri korvpallikoolis, kui ma olin 7-aastane ja 16 aastast ma jõudsin esindustiimi. Lihtsalt tundsin sisemas, et oleks mingit vaja muutust ja Ameerika tundus see õige valik. Ameerikasse mineku idee tekkiski siis, kui FAU abitreener Todd Abernett, kes ka Tartus mängis, kirjutas mulle ja tema tahtis mind siis enda kooli värvata, aga Covidi pärast ma ei saanud mingit testi seal teha ja siis ta otsiski mulle prep school'i. Prep school'ist jõudsin Bartoni Community College'isse. Junior College ehk siis JUCO on selline, kus sa saad olla 2 aastat. Et tavaliselt sinna lähevad inimesed, kellel ei ole väga häid offerid.
Downing Rivers gets it off to Sarr. He'll drive in, flush it to the rim. That one passing. Flips it over to Sarr. Sarr's 3. Good.
Jackson, Locandro, here to Sarr, wants the 3, he knocks out.
Ja siis see on nagu järgne väljund, kus nad saavad mängida. Osad isegi teevad niimoodi, et nad on Division 1, väga mängida ei saa, siis lähevad JUCOsse, üritavad seal mänguaega lõida ja siis lähevad tagasi D1. Mul oli erinevaid pakkumisi siis eelkõige D2-st. Division 2 on kindlasti mõistlik otsus, kui sa leiad endale treeneri, kes sind usaldab, annab sulle mänguaega. Ma ei näe mõtet minna Division 1 ja seal pingi peal istuda. Ma pigem oleksin Division 2 ja omal näitel ma olen mänginud iga aasta umbes 30 mänguminutit. Ma arvan, et see annab väga palju juurde, kus saad mängida ja see on sinu arengule ainult hea. Ja Division 2, Division 1 võrdlusest. See aasta me näiteks mängisime 2 Division 1 kooliga, kes on nagu keskmikud siin USA-s. Ja me kaotasime mõlemad mängud umbes 5-10 punktiga. Ja me olime terve aeg mängus viimase 2 minutiga, seal visati lihtsalt vabaviskid ja vahe läks 5 peale. Ma arvan, et me saame päris hästi vastu Division 1 koolidele. Lihtsalt on see nimi, et üks on Division 1 ja teine on Division 2.
I think, especially at this level, man, like from my experience being a player and then now being a coach, the level that we play at Division 2 level isn't very far off from the Division 1 level. I think height and athleticism is one of the biggest things that you see the difference between the 2 levels. And then I think it's more just like money that they have at that level and, you know, resources and then opportunity. Because there's a lot of guys, especially from our conference and our league, that have started out in the Division 2 level. You know, obviously Derek White, for example, goes on to CU, becomes an NBA player. So it's been different guys from Fort Lewis and Metro who've started at a Division 2 school in RMAC and end up going to a D1. So I don't think the level is that far off. I think our conference in general at this level is, you know, is really competitive. A lot of good players, a lot of good coaches. So it's one of those things where like we get overlooked, but you know, at the end of the day, I think we've had 11 or 12 pros go overseas in the last 10 years for us. So one of those things where it doesn't matter what level you are. If you work hard, you put the work in, you know, you get your degree, you can go potentially play overseas or, you know, play professionally.
All right, let's all lock in.
And we'll go through obviously a lot of their looks in practice today. Get you guys having a good feel. It's tough scouts, a lot of guys, right? Got 11 guys that are getting minutes right now. A lot of hockey subs. A lot of guys that can hurt us in a lot of different ways. Some of the actions are a little bit different and unique, so we'll make sure we feel really good about them on the floor tonight, okay, before we go to bed tonight. And then I'll be honest with you, one of the things I'm most worried about is them posting us, because they post every position. If it's outside the paint, we're waiting on the dribble. If it's inside the paint, we can't wait, right? So right here, once he takes that dribble, okay, we're gone. Big active hands without jumping, though, okay? And not allowing them to split. Your job is to take away baseline, where you have to anticipate this down.
Hey, coming over. Hey, Tristan, pump. Stay there. Switch that. Smokey.
Ülikooli korvpall koosneb Ameerikas mitmetest divisjonidest ja seeläbi läheb koolidel vaja ka kamaluga mängijaid. Valikukriteeriumid, mille järgi välismaalasid valitakse, on ülikooliti siiski erinevad.
We look at a variety of things when we're recruiting, prospects for our program. Certainly we want someone that can excel on the basketball court, but we also need them to excel academically. And then for us, we also want to recruit players that can represent our program well in the community. We really want guys that can excel in all three of those areas, the court, the classroom, and in the community. From a basketball standpoint, we run a lot of motion, so we like guys that can play just as easily with the ball in their hands as they can without the ball in their hands. I think a lot of times, especially in America, you get a lot of isolation basketball and guys may be doing well with the ball in their hands, but unclear of what their role is or how to play without the ball in their hands. So we have found that a lot of the international players fit in well with our system. When I talk about being able to play, both with and without the ball in your hands, I think internationally that's much more prevalent style of play as opposed to the isolation-heavy style in America.
Ideally, hey, let's get some ghost screens or something at the end of clock if we're late, right? Just to try to free up on ball to get us downhill a little bit better, okay? Spacing's a little bit bad. All their points are coming off our bad offense again. These turnovers are bad shots.
I really value the diversity of our team. I think this year we have a very diverse, team from in-state, out-of-state, international, guys that don't look alike, which I think is healthy, for any kind of group. And so I think that's important in life, to be honest with you, diversity. And so when we're able to bring in international players, I think that really helps towards that. We've traveled internationally as well. We take a foreign tour every 4 years. I think that's great for our guys. I think any chance they have to experience life outside of their otherwise small, narrow scope that maybe they were raised, I think is going to be a good thing for them.
Praegu me oleme siis kohas, kus ma elan. Et see on niisugune korterkompleks, kus siis on meie meeskonnast on äkki 10 tükki siin elavad erinevate korruste peal. Siin ongi, et õues on bassein ja jõusaali ala, kus me saame lõõgastuda ja trenni teha, kui ta midagi lisaks teha. Ja praegu ma lähen oma pakile järgi, mille ma tegin siis senior day'ks oma meeskonnale. See on niisugune traditsioon siin, et seniorid teevad midagi meeskonnale. Et siis see on minu kingitus meeskonnale. Siin ma siis elan. Neljakesi elame siin 4 meeskonnakaaslastega ja kõik eluks vajalik on olemas, et köök, kus me teeme ise süüa ja kõik airfryerid ja kõik külmkapid, kõik on olemas, et natuke suurem diivan võiks olla, et kõik koos mänge vaadata, aga sellest ka piisab. See on siis minu tuba. suhteliselt väike, aga hubane, et oma garderoob on olemas siin, et kõik mahub ära ja vannituba on enda omad, ei pea kellegiga jagama, mis on suur pluss, ma ütleks. Need on need kingitused, mis ma tegin tiimile, siis särgid abitreenerite nägudega, et kuna nad on meil nagu 2 klouni meil, ma ütleks, et siis ma panin nende näod panin siia ja ma arvan, see on päris lahe kink neile, et kui ma seda kooli valisin, siis ma teadsin, et ma tahan teha kas ärinduseriala või siis spordijuhtimist. Aga kuna ma alguses valisin spordijuhtimise, aga seal hästi peab praktikat ja korvpalli kõrvalt oli seda suhteliselt raske teha, siis ma muutsin oma eriala ärijuhtimise peale. Tavaline päev, hommikul kell 10:50 on kool, siis umbes 12 ajal lõpeb see, siis ma tulen otse individuaaltrenni. Kas individuaal või siis väikestes gruppides 2-3 tükki.
Good. Finish. Need it. So you'll step up ghost into a shot. Okay. I'll get the rebound. I'll come back from this side, and then we're going to go right into inverted DHO into a baseline pull-up. Cool? Make sense? Here we go. Good.
Siis see on umbes 45 minutit. Enne 2 lõpeb see, siis teen kiire söögi ja 4:30 hakkab tavaliselt jõusaal ja siis on meeskonnatrein otsa. See vastab tõele, et Ameerikas on õppimisega lihtsam hakkama saada kui Eestis. Et siin on see lähenemine rohkem, et sa ei pea kõike pähe tuppima. Nagu Eestis, mul näiteks keskkoolis, et olid suured arvestused ja sa õppisid päevade viisi. Et siin on rohkem, sa pead saama aru, kuidas neid probleeme lahendada. Tavaliselt suurteks eksamiks sul antakse nagu väike paber, kus saad peale kirjutada mingid valemid, et sa ei pea kõiki valemeid pähe õppima. Ja ma ütleks nii, et kui sa teed kõik oma kodutööd ära, siis sul on suhteliselt raske läbi kukkuda. Et kodutööd annavad suhteliselt suure osa sellest lõplikust hindest.
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on kind of your background in like education in general, how well how serious you take it. I think it depends kind of case by case. I think that there's more resources and there's more opportunities to learn and to, get some help and some, different aid within your education than there ever has been. So I think that there's also more focus on education and there's more attention to detail, whether that's from, coaches or admins focusing on your grades. But I'd say that it's definitely more exposure to education and they're really focusing on it, as well as like having more people focused on your grades, as well as like from a peer relationship, or your coach is looking at your grades and making sure everything's okay. When I was playing here, we had 6 a.m. practices, so waking up early morning, getting the day started, going to practice, and then having to jump right from practice, to a class, and you might have class all day. So I think really the time management part is the hardest thing, and then making sure that we have the time to eat food, come get extra shots in the gym, make practice, do your homework, study. So, and then if you factor in going on the road or going on away games, it makes it a lot tougher. So it's one of those things that's not easy to do, but it kind of depends on the person you are, I think, in general, and then kind of the class load that you're taking.
Et NCAA-s olemise plussid on kindlasti, et sa saad kooli ja sporti koos teha. Et see on siin väga hästi ära nagu jaotatud, et millal on trennid, millal on koolid, et kõik välissõidud, et see väga kooli ei segaks. Miinused võib-olla, sa ei saa keskenduda ainult korvpallile, et sul on kool ka, et kui sa mängiksid Euroopas korvpalli, siis sa saaksid rohkem, ma arvan, kui saaks professionaalilt, siis saad ühele asjale keskenduda. Aga siin sa pead ikka koolile ka keskenduma. Kui sul kodutööd on tegemata, siis sa jooksed peale trennijoone jookse ja see juba mõjutab su mänguaega, et treener näeb, et sa ei ole keskendunud mõlemale asjale ja see mõjutab päris palju.
it's tough. It's tough here to be able to balance the academics with the athletics, you know, and I think that really varies institution to institution. You know, our school is a higher academic program, so there's a lot of recruits that we cannot recruit, a lot of prospects that we cannot recruit due to their academic standing. We need to make sure that we're able to bring in student athletes that can handle it in the classroom, you know, that can take care of their business in the classroom, that understand that at some point when basketball is done, we want them to be able to fall back on a degree, an academic degree, in whatever chosen path they have outside of basketball.
Näiteks siin koolis on hästi palju selliseid üritusi, kus tulevad 30-40 kohalikku ettevõtet, siis nad üritavadki meie koolist värvata järgmiseks aastaks seniorid, kes nüüd siis lõpetavad ja otsivad tööd, et paar päeva tagasi oli meil siin spordiettevõtete üritus, et oli Denver Nuggets oli kohal, Denver Broncos, et kõik suured sporditiimid. Lisaks kool pakub suviti minna võimalust Premier League'i satside juurde ja seal ma tean mõnda inimest, kes on läinud Arsenali ja Liverpooli juurde, et nad on seal paar kuud suvel ja tulevad tagasi siia, et saavad sealt head kogemust. Me oleme siis selles ärihoones, kus mul kõik tunnid on. See on mul põhiline klass. Umbes 45 inimest mahub siia. See on tavaline klasside suurus siin, et kuna see on nagu spetsialiseeritud nagu ärinduse erialale, et siis nagu klassid väga suured ei ole, et mulle isegi meeldib, et väga suured ei ole, et 40 on suhteliselt piisav minu jaoks ja jah, enamjaolt kõik need klassiruumid näevad sarnased välja. Et osades klassiruumides on arvutid ka, aga jah, enamjaolt on kõik sellised. Praegu me oleme siis selle campuse tsentris nii-öelda, et siin on raamatukogu, siin on need erinevad hooned, ja siin on meie siis maskott, Mountain Lion, et see on siis pühendatud Melita Bergenile, et ta on Eesti sõjapõgenik, jõudis siia 1949, kus ta siis oma mehega üritas alustada uut elu ja rahulikku elu siis, et ma sain sellest alles teada see aasta, et terve eelmine aasta kõndisin sellest kultuurist mööda ja ei teadnud sellest midagi, et see aasta peatreener ütles mulle.
Õppetingimused on Ameerikasse siirdujatele mõistagi head ja paindlikud, kuid mille võrra erinevad treeningprotsess ja korvpallikultuur võrreldes meie koduste tingimustega.
Ma arvan, et see on väga positiivne keskkond noorele, et kui ma alguses siia tulin, siis isegi mina nagu tahtsin vahepeal mõne freshmani peale nagu natuke karjatada või kui ta ei saanud asjadest aru. Siis mul treenerid olid ka, et siin nagu üritame natuke positiivsemalt, et muidu nad tõmbuvad nii endasse ja siis nad ei avanegi ja siis me nagu ei tule mäng ka nagu neil välja. Aga siin on jah rohkem siuke positiivne mindset kõigil ja ma arvan, et see on teistmoodi mulle võrreldes Euroopaga, aga mulle isegi meeldib see nüüd. Ja ma arvan, kui meil tiimikeemi on, ma arvan, väga hea ja ma arvan, et see ikka aitab meid väljakul ka päris kõvasti. Võrreldes Tartu aegadega, kui ma olin Priit Vene all, siis mänguks ettevalmistumine selline on üpris sarnane, aga võib-olla ongi siuke pre-season ja pre-season on nagu erinev, et rohkem on individuaaltööd ja võib-olla rohkem lihtsalt jooksmist on siin rohkem, et saada hooajaks vormi, et just Euroopas nagu niisama siukest jooksutrille ei tehta, mis siin tehakse. Ma arvan, et meil on väga hea jõusaali programm, et me teeme sellise kompaniga koostööd nagu Exos, et nad teevad NBA mängijatele, NFL mängijatele teevad kavasi, et ja nende jõusaali tingimused on väga head, see on täpselt meil siin campuses. Viskemasinad on olemas, kui tahad ise lisatrenni teha ja kui tahad treeneriga teha trenni, siis kirjutad talle või helistad ja nad on alati nõus lisatööd sinuga tegema.
During the season, a few days a week, we'll work with, several players. I think more guys that, need like maybe just an extra step on, you know, whether it's footwork or, you know, just getting to an action a little bit quicker, understanding, watching some film with them. I think film is a big thing actually as well. So watching some, you know, game film, watching some practice film of what they can do better. And then, yeah, like 1 or 2 days a week, just getting some extra work in. And then, you know, in the preseason and in the off season, you know, 3-4 times a week, you know, 45 minutes to an hour every single time, getting some small individuals in and then some small group work in. So constantly trying to just like live in the margins, so like small details, so nothing like crazy, like they're all here for a reason, they're all college basketball players for a reason, but the small details, the small fine lines that like separate you from like great to like being like excellent or like being a professional. So that's like the way I try to approach it, and that's like the way that our staff tries to approach it. That way, stay straight up and straight down. Okay, here we go. Better. Here we go. Stay balanced. Stay balanced, come on. Come on. Shit. Free throws, we out of here? He's, you know, I think like just in general, like, you know, being from Estonia, kind of Eastern European mindset, he's really serious. He takes his stuff really serious. He's always in the gym, he's always working. He's one of those guys that I have the relationship with where, you know, I can yell at him and I can get on him a little bit, I can cuss at him and he'll yell back, but like we have that understanding, that relationship where it's all respect, and like he knows I want the best out of him and he wants to push me to be the best coach I can be as well. So I think that's the biggest thing, is like getting to the point where we're like, you know, we're still coach player, but it's more of a friendship, it's more of a partnership, and I'm not like talking down to him and he's not like arguing with me. So I think that's where we've really grown. And you know, he's one of those guys who, he's quiet at times, but he's really personable. He relates to, you know, everybody on the team really well, and he's a great dude that you have on your team, good leader, and then, you know, somebody who can, you know, also score the ball and can defend multiple positions. So it's been great having him these last 2 years, and you know, it sucks that he's got to leave, you know, after this year. So.
siin on pre-seasonil on limiidid, et peatreenerid ei saaks mängijaid surnuks joosta. Et me vist tegime umbes pre-seasonil tegime 5 korda nädalas trenni, aga seal on mingid tunnilised limiidid, aga pärast seda siis oktoobris lähevad need piirangud maha, siis lähevad trennid pikemaks ja juba siis on kool. Rõhk läheb ka natuke koolile siin, et meil peatreener rõhub koolile päris palju. Ja novembris juba hakkabki hooaeg, oktoobri lõpus, novembri alguses. Et siis on, meie mängud on tavaliselt neljapäev-laupäev. Et mul on kool on rohkem nädala alguses, nädala lõpud ma olen koolist vabaks võtnud, et tegin sellise kava, et ei peaks koolis käima nädala lõpus. Et siis ei pea puuduma ja on lihtsam. Ja hooaeg kestabki märtsini ja märtsis hakkab post-season ehk play-offid. Meil on ette nähtud, et 2 nädalat on kohustuslik puhkeaeg, mis on nagu ette antud NCAA poolt. Ja siis võivad hakata post-season treeningud. Et siis me teemegi keskpaigani teeme trenni, kuni kool kestab. Me läheme nüüd viskama. Et mängu enne viskamine ja activation, kus me teeme siis paar jõuharjutust ja lihtsalt, et mänguks valmis oleks. What's up?
Ameerika üliõpilasliiga puhul ei saa me üle ega ümber rahast, aga kas rahamäed on jõudnud juba ka teise divisjoni tasemele?
Yes, absolutely. It's already in Division II now, certainly at scale, so it's a little bit smaller level. You don't have the high payouts that you see at some of the top Division I's, but I think it's comparable, or it will be comparable to some of the lower level Division I programs, you know, and it's going to be program by program. We're still in the mix with administration to get ours up and running, but it's definitely in the future. I mean, once the rule passed, If you ignore it, you know, you're putting your head in the sand and you're going to be left behind. So it very much is already at the Division II level in a select programs, but it's something that will continue to grow.
Mina saan oma raha põhiliselt rendi jaoks ja söögi jaoks ja lisaks õppimine mul kinni makstud siis, et ja mulle sellest praegu piisab, ma ütleks. Üldiselt Division 2 on niimoodi, et näiteks minu scholarship, mis on nagu õppimiseks, on, kuna ma olen rahvusvaheline õpilane, siis on see umbes seal 50–55 000. Aga näiteks, kui saaks kohalik nagu sellest Colorado osariigist pärit, siis oleks umbes 16 000. Et sealt 55 000, mis minu scholarship on, et sealt osa läheb õppimiseks, õppimisraha ja siis sealt, mis üle jääb, tuleb siis mulle kätte nagu rendi ja söömise ja muude kulude jaoks. Ma arvan, et Euroopa korvpallurid, eriti noored, eelistavad NCAA-d Euroopale, sellepärast et rahad on suuremad, sa ei pea nii palju mängima, ma ütleks, hooaeg on lühem, saad rohkem keskenduda individuaalsele tööle ja see on põhilisi põhjuseid, miks nad eelistavad Ameerikat siis Euroopale.
But basketball is still a top 3 sport in America, and so you know, we see that it can be just as popular on a smaller Division II or even a Division III campus as it can be on a Division I campus, really. So I think it really comes down to brand of basketball and, you know, population, you know, in the surrounding communities and just the overall enthusiasm on the sport of the game.
For a basketball fan, it means, I mean, a lot. You know, for an average fan, they're probably not thinking too much about the organization of the NCAA. They're thinking about their team and things like March Madness and tournaments where anybody can beat anybody on any given night. So it means a lot to a basketball fan just because it's kind of an adventure. You never know what's going to happen on any given night or who's going to have a breakout game and stuff like that. And it's just an amazing opportunity for young athletes at all levels. It's tough with a lower, not lower, but smaller Division II in a city where there's mountains and tons of other things. You know, Air Force is a bigger school here, and so I honestly I can't tell you about the impact on the community, but it is fun when the stands do fill up a little bit and the region is benefited, especially by international players, just being able to come here and represent their countries for the school and the region. So it does impact the region, even if they may not recognize it.
We have to work to get the ball moving. We have to work to get good catches. But man, what a great opportunity to go work for something that could be great, right? So let's go ahead and leave our mark on tonight. Effort with everything that we do, right? Let's go. Work on 3, 1, 2, 3. Work. All right, hey, listen up. That was a gutsy fucking win, man. Gutsy win, right? Making plays, managing their runs, being physical, and just hanging out, right? Long enough to be able to make some plays at the end. Great fucking win, man. Proud of you guys. And we get to run it back on Saturday with another to avenge a loss, right? Hey, the best part about this, I don't even care what they're ranked or anything like that, or the playoff seeding or whatever. Like the fact that we came back after what we did up at Mines, right? And then you guys took it personally and came out and really threw
threw more punches, right? And just competed at a high level. So proud of you guys for doing that, man. We got a great opportunity on Saturday as well against a team that we felt, right, we could have easily won had we made a couple more plays. And now we got a great opportunity to do just that here Saturday. Most important game of the year on Saturday, right? And we down the stretch now, right? We're down the stretch. Let's get it. I need that. Hey, family on 3, 1, 2, 3. Family! Big one! Big one!
Cool. So the next step, right? If you do decide to sign the agreement, just to give you a heads up of what the next step would be, the next step would be an onboarding meeting.
Okay.
So an onboarding meeting, you sign the agreements, then I sign the agreement, send you a copy, I send you an email with next steps. These are the things that we need.
Iga hea asi saab kord otsa ja kui mängija on ülikooli aastad lõpetanud, siis on aeg leida uus tee. On see siis mängupaiga leidmine Euroopas või miks mitte jääda paikseks kõikide võimaluste maale Ameerikasse.
Ma arvan, me kunagi ei tea seda lõplikku tulemust, kumb oleks olnud parem, aga ma kaldun arvama, et Ameerikasse tulek oli mulle kasulikum. Just see, et ma sain keskkonnavahetust. Ma olen mänginud nii palju erinevate mängijate vastu, et Eestis pigem sa mängid mitu korda ühe satsi vastu ja mängijad väga ei muutu. Aga siin ma olen mänginud Jukos, ma olin enne seda prep schoolis ja nüüd siin. Et kuna isegi siin nagu iga aasta lähevad paremad mängijad lähevad kõrgetesse tiiühtedesse, ehk siis ma olen ka mänginud nagu väga heade mängijate vastu. Et ma arvan, et ma ei ole nagu midagi kaotanud sellest. Ja see on pigem on siuke step by step iga aasta, et olen ise läinud paremaks ja paremate meeskondade vastu mänginud rohkem. Ja tulevikus ma tahaks ikkagi professionaalselt korvpalli mängida. Et ma juba praegu suhtlen erinevate agentuuridega, kes üritavad siis mulle lepingut järgmiseks aastaks saada. Ja eesmärk olekski kuskil Eestist väljas mängida.
Maailma suurriik Ameerika jääb meist tänasel päeval endiselt kaugele ja seeläbi ka sealne üliõpilasliiga on paljude meie korvpallisõprade jaoks hägune maailm. Kahtlemata on see aga midagi mastaapset ning tuult tiibadesse kõikidele meie noortele korvpalluritele, kes otsustavad just oma Ameerika unistust püüdma minna.